Fans were left completely stunned last night after R&B legend Brandy was abruptly rushed to the hospital. Mid-performance, the lights dimmed, the music came to an abrupt stop, and Monica stood frozen on stage, visibly shaken and unsure what to do. But what really unfolded backstage? Was this just exhaustion? Or something far more serious than Brandy's team wants the public to know? Stay tuned, because the new details surfacing now are absolutely shocking. Something happened that no one in the audience could have ever anticipated. What began as a night meant to celebrate music and nostalgia suddenly spiraled into chaos. Brandy, the unmistakable voice of a generation, was rushed to the hospital right in the middle of a live show, leaving the audience in disbelief and her fellow performer Monica standing alone, confused, and deeply concerned out. Within minutes, social media erupted. Clips, whispers, and countless unconfirmed reports began circulating everywhere. But what truly happened behind those curtains? Was this a medical crisis that had been building for weeks, or did something specific trigger it that very night? In this video, we'll dive deep into everything that's come out so far, from what eyewitnesses say they saw as Brandy began to struggle, to what Monica did immediately after, and insider claims about the stress, pressure, and possible health issues that may have been escalating recently. You won't believe some of the details that have started to surface, and it doesn't stop there. We'll also take a look at the emotional reactions pouring in from fans, fellow artists, and industry insiders now speaking out. So stay with me, because what's unfolding goes far beyond just one performance. This could completely shift what we thought we knew about Brandy's current health, her bond with Monica, and the future of their much-anticipated shows together. And the most shocking part? It's coming up in just a moment. The venue was absolutely packed. Fans had flown in from across the country, some even from overseas, just to witness Brandy and Monica share the stage again. This wasn't just another concert. It was a long-awaited reunion. The lights shimmered, the sound was perfect, and the energy in the crowd was electric. Brandy was in the middle of one of her most iconic songs when everything took a sudden turn. At first, it was barely noticeable. She began holding the microphone a little lower, taking deeper breaths between lines, almost as though catching her breath had become difficult. Many assumed it was just part of the performance, but moments later, her energy dropped dramatically, her voice weakened, her posture slumped slightly, and she placed a hand over her chest. Something was clearly wrong. Musicians on stage exchanged uneasy glances, unsure whether to continue playing or stop entirely. And then it happened. Brandy slowly stepped backward, her complexion pale, her movements unsteady. Monica, who was just a few feet away, noticed immediately and moved toward her, whispering something softly. Brandy tried to continue singing, but her voice cracked. The band instinctively lowered the volume. Crew members rushed from the sides of the stage as the music faded into complete silence. The entire arena froze. At first, the crowd was uncertain. Was this all part of the act? But then the lights shifted, and the stage manager waved for medical assistance. Brandy was carefully helped off stage by medics, surrounded closely by her team. Monica remained standing at center stage, visibly stunned. Cameras caught every second, her expression shifting from confusion to deep fear. Fans close to the stage later reported hearing someone from the crew shout urgently, "Get her to the hospital now." Others claimed that Brandy mentioned feeling dizzy, lightheaded, and unable to breathe properly. Within just a few minutes, an ambulance pulled up to the backstage entrance. Brandy was quickly taken inside while her team formed a tight protective circle around her to keep cameras and reporters at a distance. Trying to maintain her composure, Monica stepped forward and addressed the audience. Her voice carried emotion but stayed remarkably steady as she said, "There's been an unexpected medical situation. Please keep Brandy in your prayers. We'll update you soon." The audience responded with heartfelt applause, but the energy inside the venue had completely shifted. What was supposed to be a night filled with excitement and joy had suddenly transformed into an evening, marked by fear and uncertainty, and that led everyone to the same burning question. What caused Brandy to collapse so suddenly? Was it exhaustion, stress, or something much more serious? Even before the lights dimmed and Brandy was taken to the hospital, subtle yet troubling warning signs had already started to show. Those close to her are now saying this wasn't a random or unexpected incident. It was the result of weeks, possibly even months of hidden struggles, overwhelming stress, and lingering health concerns that had gone unspoken. In the days leading up to the concert, Brandy's schedule had been relentless, packed with rehearsals, interviews, sound checks, and constant travel from one city to the next, leaving almost no time for rest. On social media, fans saw only the polished side: flawless makeup, bright smiles, stylish outfits, and candid laughs behind the scenes. But what wasn't visible was the exhaustion taking a toll behind closed doors. According to one insider, Brandy had been frequently complaining about severe fatigue, dizziness, and occasional chest tightness. She reportedly brushed it off, assuring everyone she was simply tired and would be fine after getting some rest. But this wasn't the first time something like this had happened. Just a few weeks prior, during a rehearsal, Brandy had reportedly stopped mid-song and sat down, saying she felt like the entire room was spinning. Her team urged her to take a break, but she insisted on continuing. She didn't want to disappoint her fans. She didn't want to show even the slightest sign of weakness, especially with such an important performance on the horizon. Friends close to her began noticing changes in her demeanor as well. She'd become quieter, more distant, and often seemed lost in thought. Some said she appeared overwhelmed, weighed down by expectations, personal responsibilities, and the immense pressure of living up to her legendary status in the public eye. One close friend, who chose to remain anonymous, said she was pushing herself too hard. She just wouldn't slow down. She kept saying she had to deliver, that she had to make this tour perfect. Adding to that, there were whispers of personal and professional tension. Industry insiders spoke about possible conflicts within her team, last-minute changes to the show, and tough negotiations surrounding upcoming projects. Even though none of this was ever confirmed publicly, it all contributed to the emotional strain Brandy was already under. Then came the added weight of performing alongside Monica, her longtime collaborator, friend, and at times rumored rival. Fans have always loved their music together, but the truth is, the history between the two hasn't always been as smooth as it appears on stage. Some people believe that the pressure of presenting a flawless, united image alongside Monica added even more strain to Brandy's already heavy emotional load. And although both Brandy and Monica have publicly shown nothing but love and respect for one another, those close to the situation say the pressure to meet fan expectations was nearly unbearable. But perhaps the most concerning part is that medical professionals close to Brandy had reportedly urged her to slow down. After a routine health check earlier this year, Brandy was allegedly advised to monitor her stress levels, get more rest, and avoid pushing herself too hard. Whether she fully followed that advice remains unclear. What is clear, however, is that her body had been warning her for quite some time, and that night, it finally reached its breaking point. So the question everyone is now asking is, did her team overlook these warning signs? Or was Brandy simply too determined to perform no matter what it cost her? The moment Brandy disappeared behind the velvet curtains and into the backstage hallway, everything shifted. The cheers from the audience faded away, replaced by a thick silence, filled with worry and confusion. What had just been a space buzzing with preparation and excitement turned into a scene of panic and urgency. Brandy was seated on a medical stretcher, her breathing shallow, her hand pressed tightly over her chest. Those who were present say her eyes were open, but she looked dazed, as if she was fighting to stay conscious. Medics surrounded her, firing off questions, checking her pulse, and placing an oxygen mask over her mouth and nose. One medic reportedly said that her blood pressure was unstable, and that she needed to be transported to the hospital immediately. Monica, still in her stage outfit, rushed backstage as soon as she finished speaking to the audience. Witnesses described her walking quickly, almost running toward Brandy, asking repeatedly, "Is she okay? What happened?" But at that moment, nobody had any clear answers. Monica gently placed her hand on Brandy's arm and whispered something softly that only the two of them could hear. Some witnesses claim Brandy gave a weak nod, while others say she didn't respond at all. Meanwhile, Brandy's team moved quickly but carefully. Her assistant gathered her personal belongings, her phone, water bottle, and the handwritten set list she brought for the show. Her manager spoke quietly with the medics, asking which hospital she would be taken to and whether it was safe to release any information publicly. One crew member, trying to hold back tears, told security to keep all cameras and unauthorized personnel away from the backstage hallway. Inside the ambulance, the tension was no less intense. Brandy was strapped securely onto the stretcher as heart monitors were attached to her chest. Paramedics reportedly asked if she had any history of heart problems, anxiety attacks, or respiratory issues. Weak and struggling to speak, Brandy could only answer in short, faint words. The paramedics radioed ahead, alerting the emergency room to prepare for her arrival. Back at the venue, confusion quickly turned into speculation. Fans in the audience began recording and posting clips of the moment the music stopped. The lights dimmed and Brandy was escorted off stage. Within minutes, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok were flooded with posts asking, "Did Brandy just collapse on stage?" This was the warning sign. Monica was among the very first people allowed into Brandy's hospital room after she regained consciousness. Brandy was awake but noticeably weak, her voice faint and barely above a whisper. Monica gently took her hand and said softly, "You scared everyone out there." Brandy reportedly blinked back tears and murmured, "I didn't want to let anyone down." That one simple sentence said it all. And from that moment on came a decision that would change everything: the tour, the performances, and even Brandy's relationship with her audience. Her team quickly gathered in a private room inside the hospital to discuss what to do next. Should they cancel the upcoming shows? Release a statement to the public? Or remain silent until more was known about her condition? Some team members believed they should continue the tour once Brandy recovered, while others firmly argued that her health must come first and everything else could wait. Just as the room fell silent and decisions were about to be finalized, Brandy's manager's phone buzzed. He glanced at the screen, paused, and said, "You're not going to." Believe who just reached out. It was a personal message from a prominent artist and close friend of Brandy, someone rarely seen speaking publicly but known for having powerful influence behind the scenes. While this person's identity hasn't been officially confirmed, insiders claim it was someone Brandy holds in very high regard. And the message carried unexpected weight. The message was short but impactful. Protect her. Cancel everything. No show is worth her life. Those words immediately shifted the entire tone of the meeting. The room went silent. For the first time that night, everyone on Brandy's team felt completely united about what needed to be done. They agreed to cancel the remaining performances, postpone media appearances, and issue a public statement centered solely on Brandy's health and recovery, rather than focusing on ticket sales or damage control. The official spokesperson drafted an announcement explaining that Brandy had suffered a medical emergency linked to exhaustion and needed immediate rest under the supervision of doctors. The statement thanked fans for their prayers and asked for privacy during her recovery. Meanwhile, Monica stayed by Brandy's side throughout the night. Even after others left to rest, she refused to go home. She sat quietly, sometimes praying, sometimes scrolling through her phone, reading the flood of supportive messages pouring in from fans online. Some speculated that this incident might create emotional distance between Brandy and Monica, but instead, it brought them closer than ever. Many fans still remember the years of rumors and controversy that followed their massive hit, "The Boy Is Mine," when the media portrayed them as rivals. But anyone who truly knows them will tell you the story isn't that simple. Over the years, they've shared mutual respect, admiration, and a quiet friendship, even when the public expected drama. And on this night, in a silent hospital room, that bond was clearer than ever. By morning, Brandy was still being monitored, but her condition had stabilized. Her mother sat beside her, holding her hand, while Monica remained nearby, reading aloud a few of the countless fan messages and prayers flooding social media. Tears welled up in Brandy's eyes as she realized just how many people were worried about her: fans, friends, family, and fellow artists alike. The enormous weight she'd been carrying on her shoulders began to feel a little lighter. Doctors advised her to take an extended break: no travel, no press, no performances for as long as necessary. Health first, everything else second. Brandy nodded, not just out of obligation, but with genuine understanding. Her body had sent her a warning, and this time she intended to listen.